Tim Slade has made quite a name for himself since joining the V8 Supercars Championship in 2009. The Ford versus Holden battleground of the last 20 years might just receive a bit of a shake-up this year with Gold Coast local Tim and his Erebus Motorsports squad.
Tim, it's so lovely to meet you. I guess the first question to any race car driver is like how you found yourself in this position now, racing V8 Supercars.
I guess my dad was always involved in motor racing in some way, shape or form, and dabbled in a little bit of racing himself, and had a little Pee-wee 50 motorbike when I was about 4. Outgrew that, and then Dad bought me a go-kart for my 9th birthday, and then sort of went from there, really. I guess went through the sort of traditional stepping stones up to V8 Supercars.
Like any professional athlete, racing car drivers need to keep fit. So, in addition to gym training, Tim's a bit of a cycling fan.
When I'm not at the racetrack, this is where I like to be.
Still on wheels.
Yeah, exactly. I do a lot of my training on wheels, but even when I'm not training or at the racetrack, you know, I'll cruise up and down here with my girlfriend Danny and just chill out, basically. As always, typical, straight to the cafe.
And this one is well loved by the cycling community.
Piccolo Cafe in Miami is owned by another, albeit better-known cyclist and fellow local, Robbie McEwen.
Now, you're certainly one of the rising stars in the sport. Do you have any expectations for this year and for that race in particular?
Yeah, we had a pretty good run there last year. We finished 4th and 5th, pretty close to being up on the podium and getting a surfboard. That's definitely something, you know, on the bucket list for me. But, you know, this year we're probably in a little bit of a different situation in that, you know, we've got new cars. We're, I guess, deep in development with these new cars. So looking at it realistically, you know, probably don't expect to be up on the podium.
Let's aim for a podium finish.
Oh, definitely. I'm always aiming for that.
Tim's team, Erebus Motorsports, is based at Yatala, and his car is a Mercedes E63 AMG V8.
This is where the magic happens. There's close to 50 people that work in for the team, around about 2 or 3 people per car. So, yeah, they're fully stripped back now, and the guys are getting them prepared for our next race meeting.
So this is your car?
Yep.
Well, now I understand why you can't take me for a drive.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So every little child out there who's playing video games, it really kind of does look like a video game console, doesn't it?
Yeah, we can run through the steering wheel. As you can see, it looks very different to a standard road car wheel.
And then do you have this little sticker here for the track that you're on, just to remind you what gear you want to be for which corner?
Yeah, so this track here is Queensland Raceway, which is where we tested last.
Yep.
And I guess basically just for communication, I guess when I'm relaying messages back to my engineer, he looks at the same thing that I'm looking at, and you know, we just make sure that if I'm talking about corner number 2, he's you know, looking at the right corner.
Well, Tim, thank you so much. I have to admit, I do love my motorsports, so I will be watching with extra special interest now, zipping around that track now that I've had a little seat in your car.
Yeah, you better. Number 47.
Number
remember.
47.
The Armour All Gold Coast 600 is on from the 25th until the 27th of October. Touted as the Gold Coast's biggest party, it's not just the 3 action-packed days of street racing that's set to get the adrenaline pumping, as there's plenty of off-track action happening over the weekend. For all event information and for ticketing, log on to the V8 Supercars website. And if you can't make it to the track, you can catch all the action live on Channel 7 from 10:30 on the Saturday and 11 a.m. on the Sunday.
Well, it won't be long before these big white trucks are all loaded up with everything the team could possibly need, and they'll head trackside. And then we, of course, get to sit back, relax and watch all of the fabulous V8 action. And I have to say, the best seats could probably be right there in your living room. Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for your company. I do hope you're able to join us next time in the Great Southeast. Until then, 7 News is up next.